we're going to learn more about Typografia. It's the 2000 to 2020 anthology. This is the English language anthology of the first and only Brazilian magazine on typography, lettering, and calligraphy. And they are running a Kickstarter campaign. And we are so excited to help them. We're one of their partners. And since 2000, the Brazilian magazine Typografia, created and nurtured by Claudio Rocha and Tony Demarco, has been publishing in Portuguese. And in all its 13 issues, it has always reflected the state of the typographic and lettering arts in Brazil and worldwide. This anthology favors articles reflecting our commitment to visual and type culture, says the editor, Tony Demarco, by using the English language and redesigning articles with unpublished additional content. Claudio and Tony want to shed light on the powerful yet unexplored Brazilian scene and to deliver its original load of artworks, people, and stories to the global design community. I'm going to introduce both of them because we're so excited that they could both join us today and tell us more about what has happened with the magazine, what's happening with the Kickstarter, and what the plan is for the anthology. So Claudio Rocha, the graphic designer, typographer, and type designer, and he was born in São Paulo in 1957. He's a founding partner of Oficina Typografia de São Paulo. He's the author of books on typography, and he's the co-editor of the magazine. He lives in the Netherlands, but used to live in Italy, and he's a regular contributor to Tipoteca Italiana, our sister museum here at Hamilton. In 2016, he presented his letterpress monoprints and conducted a workshop at the Hamilton Ways Goose. And it was a joy to see your work in person, Claudio. I have to say, I'm still inspired by the work you shared at that Ways Goose.
Thanks, that's very kind.
Oh, it's beautiful. In 2019, Claudio took part of the Letterpress Workers Summit in Milan and also went to the Azores archipelago, where he conducted a workshop at Tipo, a meeting of letterpress printers. So really a big part of the letterpress community. So I'm so glad you could talk to us today, Claudio.
Thanks. It's I'm pleased to be here.
Yeah. And Tony Demarco was born in 1963, and he lives in São Paulo, and he's a type designer, street artist, and photographer. He is the co-editor of the Typografia magazine, and he creates typefaces since 1989, and has founded Just in Type Foundry. And his font, Samba, was awarded in 2003 at Linotype International Type Design Contest. And so I want to say thank you both for joining us today. Like I said, we're worldwide. Claudio's in the Netherlands, we're in Two Rivers, Tony's in São Paulo. So I'm really excited because the magazine really shows this depth and this breadth of type and lettering all across the world. And so that you're going to be able to share more with us today is so exciting. So thank you for joining us, and I will hand it over. So thank you both.
Thank you, all of you. It's really a pleasure. Tony, you're muted.
The classic for the pandemic. Thank you. Thank you, Stephanie, for your kind words. Pleased to be here.
No, I should add that to open this universal production, the book will be produced in Italy because it is a project by Lazy Dog Press, an Italian publishing house, and it will be printed at Grafica Antiga. They are the owners of Tipoteca Italiana. So it's the mafia is complete. Well, I'd like to share my screen with you because we prepared a presentation to show not only the idea of this anthology, but what is behind the idea of Tupigrafia magazine, okay? I strongly recommend you to use the screen, the full screen, to experience better experience this presentation.
I strongly recommend a beer.
Cheers to that.
Sorry about that. Here is the Okay, everybody is seeing this. It's okay.
Yep, we're good to go.
Well, this is a mock-up of Tupigrafia Anthology 2000-2020, which is currently on Kickstarter with a selection of articles originally published in the Tupigrafia magazine. This cover represents the publication's eclectic and universal spirit. The logo is a contemporary black leather, was created by the Italian calligrapher Luca Barcellona. And the letter S, in a kind of Victorian Amazonian style, was made with a brush by a local letterer, the Brazilian Luis Jr. The story of these letters, which are painted on boats from the Amazon, will be told in this anthology. Moment. So, Tony and I started Tupigrafia in 2000 just for fun, but also moved by our passion for letter forms. It's our eternal excuse to get even closer to the world of letters. And it was really difficult to choose the articles for this anthology. We've managed to include 18 articles chosen from over 150 published in these 21 years. I must say that a lot of good stuff had to be left out. But after all, we are sure that in its 208 pages, the core nature of the lively Brazilian typographic culture will be shown. So far, we have published 13 issues with 23 covers in total. The anthology features all covers together in this brand new article. On the left, you can see the cover of the first issue showing a graffiti wall from São Paulo. This is the masthead of Tupigrafia 2, and this is its front and back cover. This drawing was made by Milor Fernandes, and he was an amazing cartoonist from Brazil. He's dead. He died in 2012, I believe. It was a great friend of us, a supporter of Tupigrafia. As you can see, there are no restrictions to the use of typography in Tupigrafia pages. No constraints at all.
There we go. We were getting some feedback. Keep going, Claudio.
Okay. Even the mastheads change from one cover to another. Type is set according to the contents of each article, and in the same way, the page layouts change to suit contents. These letters were based on livestock branding style from the northeast region of Brazil, and the author produced an entire alphabet in iron, adapting this technique with a more decent use in mind. And this is Tupigrafia 3 cover. And as a visual metaphor, this cover shows another kind of writing with iron, the type bars of typewriters. And by the way, you might be wondering, what does Tupigrafia mean? It is a play on words. In an informal way, Brazilians are used to refer to themselves as Tupiniquins, an indigenous people of Brazil. Their tribe was one of the first to meet the Portuguese settlers in April 1500. So, generally speaking, Tupigrafia means Brazilian typography. And this logo of the 6th issue was stamped with excess of ink in the stamp pad. This cover shows a collage by Fefe Talavera, a friend of ours. It was made with the letterpress printed letters. I must say, she's really an edgy visual artist. He's young, but his production is really, really strong. And then from issue 7 onwards, we chose to design and print more than one cover for the same issue. And reaffirming our proposal to edit a magazine without borders, we invited Marian Bunches to create a cover, and she generously accepted. It was really an honor to us. And you know, the phenomenon of street writing in São Paulo is well known internationally. Two taggers, or pichadores, friends of us, proposed this concept, and we just said, perfect, go ahead.
Claudio, I'm
Yes.
getting some feedback, and I apologize to interrupt.
No problem.
I'm not sure if you have a paper, if it's interfering with your microphone or not, and it comes and goes.
Mhm.
Do you have a paper or anything on top of your keyboard?
Yes, yes. Now,
Okay,
okay, it's better now.
sounds good. Thank you. I appreciate it.
No, thanks. Well, we plan to write the name of Tupigrafia on the asphalt pavement and shoot it from the top of a cell phone transmission tower. You can see here on the right side, below there are my tennis, and below are the street writers starting work, writing Tupigrafia on the asphalt. And they used a dispenser with hydrated lime to write the letters, a method employed to mark the lines of popular soccer fields in Brazil. Now you can see the neighborhood. The taggers came from the outskirts of São Paulo. And on the right, we can see the tower we climbed to take the photo. To then use to climb walls, it was a piece of cake, but to me was a little bit threatening, really, really scary. But I succeed. And this is Tupigrafia 8. Here we combined two printing systems. The picture was offset printed, and the masthead set in metal type was letterpress printed. This font is called Mondial, and it was cast by Funtimod, a Brazilian foundry active in the 20th century. It is a funny thing. The magazine has the shape of a book, and from time to time, people refer to Tupigrafia as a book. Moreover, for one of the covers of Tupigrafia 9, we made a humorous visual commentary showing a reproduction of a classic bookbind. It was taken from a library with marble paper, leather corners, and so on. On this specific cover, there are no masthead or any textual information, allowing people to happily call it a book if they wish. And we can say that Tupigrafia 10 has mixed media covers. Tony created an intricate vector art in Adobe Illustrator, and I reproduced a letterpress monoprint as the image, both offset printed. And in the cover on the right, we had hot stamping for the masthead and wood type letterpress printed on translucent paper. It was printed at the Oficina Tipográfica São Paulo. Here you can see Tony's work, his artwork in detail. This is a kind of indigenous work. He reproduced the same style, the indigenous from the Amazon. It's really interesting artwork. Sorry, yes. This is Tupigrafia 11. It was printed in letterpress with 5 spot colors. It was based on digital types made from Brazilian typefaces. And here we've ordered magnesium plates and the printing was accurately made by Marcos Mello at Oficina Tipográfica São Paulo also in 2015. Here you can see Marcos printing this cover. And this is the Oficina homepage website. I believe the link would be shared on the chat. No, it's true, Stephanie?
Shared right now. Yep, you can click it. It is live.
Perfect. So here we have Tupigrafia 13. Both covers were silkscreen printed. And the design was made by Contrast Duo, which were Monica Rizzoli and Tony Demarco. And they used processing programming language. Is that right, Tony?
No, that's wrong, but it's okay.
But no problem at all. But
Monica and I using processing a lot, but in this case, it's a kind of metal type composition because it was an amazing block of text made on InDesign. I just typed this composition entirely.
Wow. Perfect. Okay, and this is the other design. 5 different color papers and color combinations were used in this cover design. Also, silkscreen printed. And this mock-up of Tupigrafia anthology shows one of the end papers with letter from the Amazon boats. We talk a little bit about this in a few moments. And this is the other end paper that shows vernacular painted letters in a photographic essay by Edson Meirelles. It was published in Tupigrafia 2, long time ago. And this is an amazing story. This article deals with the graphic work of J. Carlos, the most important Art Deco Brazilian illustrator. It was active in the first half of the 20th century. And this article is focusing in his lettering art. Here you can see, it's difficult to describe because it's so astonishing. His designs, his lettering, his drawings, and I have no words to describe it because I'm really a big fan of his work. And as Tony said, the font Samba, based on J. Carlos lettering, was expressly created for this article by him and his brother, Caio Demarco. And this font won honorable mention in 2004 Linotype International Contest. And as Tony and we are type designers, we used to create fonts to set the titles in the articles of Tupigrafia magazine. Here we have some examples. Below have that font used by branding, co-branding. It was a font right now and it will be launched in a few weeks. And during the 1960s, the graphic artist Cesar Vilela, he was from Rio de Janeiro, he created a remarkable series of album covers for the Elenco record company, which was responsible for the launch and consolidation of Bossa Nova. And Vilela exploited the technical resources available at the time in order to visually translate the aesthetics of this original musical expression. The article highlights his typographical approach. And also, Tupigrafia has this commitment to show the Brazilian visual culture to the world and also bring to the Brazilians examples and stories of the international typographic scene. And one article made by a friend of us, also from Rio, shows Dutch stamps that they are notable for their quality, their creativity, and audacity also. They are worth a close look for their typography, I believe. And this Joe Swart is a cartoonist, really, really famous. He works freely with letter forms. Floppy disks. Maybe the youngers maybe never seen one originally, but floppy disks of digital fonts witnessed the rise of digital type market in the 80s. And were aligned with this, the aesthetics of that period, I must say. This article shows how useful they were in conveying the expressive qualities of their fonts in carefully crafted labels. I have a small collection of these floppies, and a friend of us, Billy Bacon, again from Rio, was in the US at that time, and he was studying there and anger to buy fonts. He has an amazing collection. He shared with us in this article and talk about his experience also. Here you have this mock-up of the opening spread, which is showing the work of Fefe Talavera with her wild animal shapes in the various sizes using the collage technique with letterpress printed letters. And this is article on pencils, typography hidden inside a collection of pencils, a collection of mine. And this article approaches the engraved letters displayed on pencils. And I must say, I am a compulsive pencil collector. My collection already has more than 3,000 pencils. It's about 20, 25 years I'm collecting pencils. And this is amazing, the work of Rubens Matuk. In these studies, Rubens, which is an artist and also an architect, he builds letters in 3D manually. It's amazing. And with a variety of perspectives, reaffirming his training in architecture. But they were conceived as sculptures, which could be small home objects or a big icon placed in public spaces also. He works very well with wood. He really skilled worker with wood. And talking about wood, we have this article which focuses on a breathtaking selection of the Tipoteca Italiana with their early 20th century wood types. And this article, it will be complemented with 16-page letterpress inset, which will be printed with wood types from Tipoteca's collection. It's interesting to talk that this collection of metal and wood types is the heart of the museum. And they have more than 10,000 items, and they were not yet fully cataloged. Here, literally, the medium is the message. This photographic essay features a series of this vernacular signage made on tires. Borracharia means tire repair shop in Portuguese. And then we talk about Fernanda Martins' research, which focuses on the lettering art of sign painters in the lower reaches of the Amazon River. She used to live there, and she made a research, a huge research on this kind of lettering art. And we are very happy to share with you this research. And these guys, by appropriating decorative typography in Victorian style, these craftsmen developed their own graphic idiom through their close relationship with the local environment. These letters are really, really peculiar. They are known as abridores de letras, which means letter openers. And they have an intuitive knowledge of typographic language. They are not trained, they don't have training in typography. They subvert some basic principles of perspective drawing and also develop a particular sense of color codes. The outcome is a lively visual syntax that stands out in those tropical surroundings. Can you hear the bells from Delft?
Excellent.
Feels like we're there.
So this is another interesting story. J. Borges. He is a woodcutter, but also a poet and a letterpress printer. Here he is. His name is linked to the Brazilian popular culture, internationally known as cordel literature, meaning cheaply printed chapbooks containing folk novels and poems. You can see behind him a lot of cordel he produced and he sells at his workshop. You can see here some of his wood blocks. And when searching for new ways to express himself, J. Borges developed a style of lettering for signing and naming his woodcuts. This woodcut is named The Psychiatrist. It is lovely. Take a look at the serpent's tongue in the center. It's a cross. Another article in this series, the calligrapher Claudio Gil explores the expressive possibilities of painting letters on walls with a flat brush. By exploiting the rough surrealness of these surfaces, he expands the dimensions of calligraphy.
Oop, I'm going to interrupt for just 1 second. Zen
Sure.
wanted to know about the size of the blocks for the artist before this one.
They are not the same because most of them are mostly 10 to 15 centimeters because they use as cover for his literatures, his chapbooks. But he also produced some posters, mostly in A3 format. I can, let's see. Those are really small for the chapbook covers, but this one is in A3 format.
Nice. Thank you. Thanks for going back. That was great to see.
No, welcome. No, it is lovely.
Yeah, stunning work.
Yeah. Maybe I can translate. I am a beautiful piece made by the creator. I'm hot. I'm highlight the word in that part of Brazil. I am the terror because I destroy the fields of the poor workers on the fields. I'm not sure if I could understand, but this is the monster of the that part of Brazil. I don't know how to say it.
Mhm.
It's he used to tell stories as I like poems, and some of them he used spot colors also, not only black and white.
Nice, beautiful. Thank you for sharing more.
No, it's amazing, and he has a team made by his son, his grandson, his nephew, a lot of people working with him because he has a entrepreneur.
Oh yeah.
The entire family works.
Sure. No, this is amazing. The idea of a woman make in a psychiatric session with a man, a demon, drinking a lot of things. So where we were here. So talking about the Kickstarter campaign, we are offering, besides the book itself, we are offering some bundles on our Kickstarter campaign. For instance, these are reproductions of 3 previously unpublished letterpress calligraphic works I made with Luca Barcellona in 2017. Here's a detail. And Lucas is a prodigious calligrapher. He was in São Paulo conducting a workshop at the time, and I invited him to visit the Oficina Tipográfica São Paulo. He wrote on my letterpress monoprints. I offer maybe 10 or 12 of these monoprints, and he made this amazing work in calligraphy, and we split half to me, half to him, and we were more than happy. And now we are producing this in digital printing, also in fine art printing, and they are offered as a bundle, as a reward in our campaign. You can see Luca working in one of these calligraphic works. And then, beside the book itself, as I said, we are offering an enticing list of rewards, included some limited ones. For instance, this book published by Tipoteca Italiana Fondazione. They kindly offered to us some copies of this book, and we are offering with a special price to our backers. And I believe that is all I have to show you, but also let me stop the screen share. Okay, thanks for everybody. Thanks, Stephanie. I hope you have enjoyed my presentation.
It was delightful. I wanted to say, I'm going to remove your spotlight so we can just see everybody's faces for a minute, because I love that there were so many stories, so many artists. Like I was taking notes constantly, and knowing that we'd be able to get this in English and be able to read more about the artists is so important.
Mm-hmm.
So to the, yeah.
So, could I share my screen for a moment?
Mm-hmm. Let me, there you go. You can share your screen for a moment, Tony.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to talk about a special cover of Tupigrafia 12 with me and Monica did 400 different covers for the same publication using processing. That's our fame, to use processing and typography. We are looking for covers made entirely by fonts. We use a special dingbat to create variations, 400 variations printed digitally. And this is I think is this kind of special feature for Tupigrafia 12, probably the most rare issue we launched. Here we can see some of covers, the cover and front cover and the back cover. And we have prized in, I think, two design prizes in Brazil, and now we have we are into other prize, right?
Yeah, we are finalists of the top awards from Fredigoni paper industry in Italy.
That's it. I'm so proud about this issue.
You should be very proud. Someone actually did ask, are there any back issues of the magazine for sale?
Where we share our website, and there is possible, not all the issues, because most of them are sold out. But if you go to Tupigrafia website, also I can, maybe I can share screen.
Mm-hmm.
I can make, where I am. This is our website, unfortunately in Portuguese. If you go to each cover, you can see some images of each issue.
We are seeing Typographica.
And if you go here, sorry, you go to our online shop, and we have some issues yet for sale. Some of them, like Tupigrafia 12, only in PDF, because it was sold out. And that's it.
Okay, and I shared a link over in the chat. You can see those.
Oh, thanks, Stephanie.
Yeah.
We also have the link of our Kickstart campaign, no?
Yep, we've shared that over there.
Stephanie could show us, and there is a video.
Yep.
Which explains.
I think I'll do that now. Yeah, perfect. Let me.
Thanks.
So, so that we can see a little bit more about the actual anthology and the thing that we can help fund, and that is part of why we did this today, is because they're about a third funded, and the idea that if it doesn't get funded, we can't see it and we can't share it and we can't was really important to us, and that's why we wanted to do this ham hang. Was it's wonderful to hear the stories and it's wonderful to hear behind the scenes, but it's also really important to remember that we as a community have the ability to share it with our friends and help get it funded. I will also say it's very affordable. Sometimes you go to Kickstarter and go, oh no, I can't afford that book. This is not one of those Kickstarters. And so that's what's really exciting. And we are helping make sure that shipments get to people in the US. So if you're in the US based, it's going to be nice and easy to get. So I'm going to share my screen and I am going to show the video so that we can see just a little bit more specifically about the anthology that we can actually help fund. So.
You can see the bundles also.
Since 2000, the Brazilian magazine Tupigrafia has been publishing in Portuguese, first by the Bookmakers Publishing House and then by the Oficina Tipográfica São Paulo. In all its 13 issues, it has always reflected the state of the typographic and lettering arts in Brazil and worldwide. In 21 years of publication, Tupigrafia has featured more than 150 articles on typographic history and technology, type design, calligraphy, and letterpress. Now has come the time for an English anthology of Tupigrafia. Designed, edited, and published to meet the expectation of an international audience of lettering and type enthusiasts. However, the new designs still reflect the true spirit of the magazine. This anthology favors articles reflecting our commitment to visual and type culture. By using the English language and redesigning articles with unpublished additional contents, we want to shed light on the powerful yet unexplored Brazilian scene and to deliver its original load of artworks, people, and stories to the global community of design. Besides the book itself and its special edition, numbered and signed, we are offering a great variety of attractive rewards. From the digital font created for the masthead of the first issue of Tupigrafia, to the exclusive prints of some previously unpublished letterpress calligraphic works produced by Luca Barcellona and Claudio Rocha. Lastly, some striking bundles are included. Type-related books and magazines with appealing discount may reach your doorstep together with the Tupigrafia anthology. Have a look and then make your choice.
Delightful.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Lovely.
Just checking for any questions. I was going to say there was, Tony, I'm glad you shared a little bit more about the one cover. There was even a question about the cover number 10 that was shown initially. Can you talk more about that process as well? There's a lot of interest in how you create those.
Sorry, the number 10 or number 12?
It was number
10.
10.
That in Adobe Illustrator.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, you can look at me. I'm native Brazilian, truly. So it's not a cultural appropriation. So it's easy for me to see the value and the originally of this kind of forms in the baskets for the indigenous people in Brazil. So I mimic the texture. I studied the pattern. Is as a kind of weird bitmap, 45 degrees grid. So it's not the simple bitmap art, because you need to respect some laws of the pattern of the stripes of wood. So I just research some techniques, and I reproduce some original native motifs and create others, like the letters of Tupigrafia title and the number and some animals. But I think it was the best thing I did in Illustrator. It's too hard because, you know, Illustrator is not famous about the snap to point. Otherwise, no snap in Illustrator. So I working hard for a month to make this cover, but I'm really glad for the results.
Thank you for sharing more about that. There was some interest in how it was done.
Really wonderful job.
Thank you.
And if there are more questions, this is a good time to unmute. Feel free to ask out loud. If you don't have that ability or don't want to, you can always put them in the chat.
Claudio, how did you get connected with Tipoteca?
Sorry, how did I?
Yes.
Connection.
Sorry, mention.
How did you get connected?
Okay. I used to live in Italy. So I have a friend. She already known the guys from Grafica Antiga. They are the owners of Tipoteca Italiana. It's a family, and they and we are there to ask him to support us to produce Tipo Italia magazine. It was the idea of produce Tupigrafia in Italy. I brought to Italy the same concept, talk about local typography. You know, the difference that Italy has a huge tradition in typography, and the collections of Tipoteca Italiana are outstanding. So you must be there to understand how incredible is this collection. So we're there, and they support us. We are in condition to produce the first issue, and then the second one. I came back to Brazil, and then I go back. I returned to Italy again, and at that time, Tipo Italia I donated the title, the magazine, to Tipoteca. So we produced the third issue. And it was an amazing experience because I was living in Treviso, near Cornuda, where the museum is located. And I was there 3-4 times a week. I was, and I still am, a collaborator, a contributor of Tupigrafia, of Tipoteca Italiana. We did a lot of projects together, and they are like a family to me. And we still are in contact. They are sponsoring and supporting us in this project. And we have produced this 16-page inset to accompany the article on their collections of wood types. We will print with real wood type, besides showing in these pictures, and also those will be printed in offset, but they insert in letterpress in the end of the article.
Someone wanted to know, is that insert in all the books or just the deluxe version?
No, in all the books. The only difference from the special edition is that we have a box and a dust jacket, and it will be this dust jacket with a different work from Luca and me. It will be signed and numbered.
Great, I do remember hearing that.
But the content, the inside is exactly the same.
Oh, and the dust jacket opens to a poster, I see. So we have a friend in India who absolutely loves
The
coming to these
book
camp.
Alphabets of Wood. Sorry?
Oh, will it ship to India? It looks like on Kickstarter, it might not ship to India. Do you know if the books will be able to be shipped there?
Sure. It was really demanding to include all of countries in the Kickstart project. So if someone is there, please, there is we mention it. If someone don't find his country, please write to us. We can handle it, no problem. It will be possible to back the project even outside there's a list, the European community, USA, Canada, Mexico, Brazil, but it was impossible to predict where the supporters will come. So we have to, but you can add, for instance, someone from Uruguay asked the same question. You can add the country in the reward you want. For instance, you want just the magazine. Tell us. You can add the price of shipping for India in this reward. Okay? It's you.
I think
Okay.
you've made her day. Thank you.
You're welcome.
We knew you would be the right people to ask. Are there any more questions? I think I got the ones that were asked as you guys spoke.
Mm-hmm. No, perfect. No, I should add, Tony and I are really grateful to the guys in Italy. All the Lazy Dog Press team with Riccardo, Francesco, Luca, Massimo Gonzato, James Clough. Some of you should know him. He's a historian of typography. We are a really good team, and all the efforts joined to put this project and bring to the light. And also we have to be really thankful to all the contributors of Tupigrafia in all these 21 years, because it's not a commercial project. It's a kind of mission, and we have a lot of friends. Henrique is here, is one of them, Fernanda Martins, a lot of people that work together with us to produce this magazine in all these years. So we're really happy. And funny thing is that I gave an interview to Cast article, sorry. And this article went to the international community. Some of them wrote, oh, I have one copy of Tupigrafia, but it's a pity because I can understand Portuguese. I can read. I'm anxious to understand, but it's not possible. So that interview gave us the idea to publish not one edition, but an anthology. And as I said in the beginning, it was really difficult to choose from all these articles, only a few number, 18. A lot of things you should add, but no, there's no space. And maybe, if possible, you can produce and publish a second volume of the anthology of Topographia. I hope so.
I think that's a very good goal, right? As time goes on, it's a good thing to think about.
Okay.
So we've come up to our hour. I want to say thank you, Claudio. Thank you, Tony. That was absolutely wonderful to hear more about it. I appreciate it.
Thank you of all of you to be here. And please help us to spread the word.
Yes, I think that's a really important thing to say, is that we have the power to tell all our friends and people we know who love typography as well. So I've put over into the chat the link again. So make sure you get which level you want and then share. I will say that these guys have done an amazing job on sharing this story on social media. Enrique is sharing his excitement down below. So the nice thing is they've made it very easy. You can even share what they're doing, put it in your stories. So, so thank you. I will also say we can do these, and this one's a bi-weekly. This was like a bonus ham hang this week because of everyone's support of the museum. You guys have been amazing. We have lots of members out there. If you aren't a member, it's a really nice way to help us keep doing free programming like this. And Ways Goose Save the Date is going out today. So if you haven't heard, the Hamilton Conference that happens every November is happening this year. It is online for everyone's safety. The world is opening up, which is wonderful, but it means everyone around the world can join us for Ways Goose again this year. It's going to be November 5th and 6th, and it's going to open, registration opens in July. So for now, save the date for November 5th and 6th, and registration will open soon. This recording will be on our YouTube page by tomorrow. So I put the link there. You can watch past ones and rewatch this one and share this one. And let's see, the other big news is we are doing workshops. So Jim Moran's workshop is almost full. Excitement has gone around the globe. He's doing a basic. We've found that a lot of people really want to learn the basics of letterpress printing. They cannot always get themselves to Two Rivers. And I think I said you have 30 years of experience, Jim, and I don't want to give away your age, but it might be closer to 50 years. Is that true?
In September, it will be 50 years.
Wow. Amazing.
It is amazing. So thank you, Jim, for sharing that. You guys can sign up for the workshop if you want to know more and hear more about letterpress printing from Jim Moran in a workshop. We also have Ryan Malloy is making one where you actually design the wood type and he cuts it for you. It's a two-parter, and I am so excited for that workshop. And we've got some with David Wolski, where you've got one with Heather Mulder from Hat Show Print. She's doing some Sintra. And because the world is opening up, we're doing in-person workshops. So we've got, I think, 6 through the summer. So if you find you're making your way to Two Rivers, Wisconsin, you can even join us here. So that's my end of the ham hang update. I want to say thank you guys for sharing so much, and thank you everyone for joining us.
Thank you a lot.